Good afternoon, YouTube. I wanted to go over something. It proved to be quite popular online. A few people have seen the picture of this Smith Wesson Model 39 of mine and the grips that I did. And what I did was I inlaid them with a Mercury dime on both sides. And everybody had seen that. Just, wow, that's, it's not hard to do. I kind of now wish I had done a video showing how I did this, because it has proven so popular. And it really isn't that hard. Now the biggest problem is the use of one of these. This is called a Forstner bit. And this one happens to be made by Freud from Austria. It's a 3/4 inch bit, which works really well with the Mercury dime. You want something that's just a little bigger than what you're going to use for an inlay, because you don't want to have to try to round it out afterwards. And how I actually did this, everybody's like, well, gee, did you use a drill press? I actually didn't. I did it right here on this kitchen table, and I used a hand drill. Now, a lot of people, that's a little touch and go, but if you're smart and you take your time, what I did was I took the grips and I taped them to the table so they didn't move. And I used the Forstner bit, and I went very, very slowly. What I did was I took masking tape, just little more thickness than what I needed, because you can see I can run my hand over this here, and you can see it's catching the edge. You want that. You want it so that it is inlaid. You want it below the surface, and that way it's not going to pop out. You're not going to dig it out. And I used liquid nails, which is a clear epoxy. I've had very good luck with that with things, and it worked quite well here. But when you use the Forstner bit, go very slowly, and especially something like this. This is not a very thick piece of wood. Take your time, check several times, and make sure you just have the depth where you want it to be. It took me probably a few minutes to do it to get everything where I wanted. And then, of course, I epoxied them in using liquid nails. I did on the back and slightly a little more on the sides. And liquid nails is good because it dries clear. And I have not had any issue with it. Now, why did I pick the Mercury dimes? Well, I don't know if they'll zoom in where you can see them here, but if you look, the words Liberty are very prominent on the Mercury dime. It's something I had thought about and what to use, and that's what I wanted to use. I did clean these up. I got these off of eBay, got them both. And they're not a desirable year per se. They are silver. I mean, those older dimes are pure silver. But they're not a desirable year. They're $2, $3 at most. Clean them up, and they look very good. And I've inlaid a few things. This is what I did before. I had made this knife here. I've made this a few years ago, and this was done with rounding on a Dremel. I took this Indian head penny, and I put it at the back of this knife here. And this is kind of where I decided after this to get a quality Forstner bit where I could do it the right way. Now, if I had to go back over and do it again, I might not have used the Mercury dimes, because I kind of like these little things. This is a Mexican 5 centavos coin, but this one's from, I don't know if you can see that, this one's from 1888. And it's pretty cool, it's pretty neat. And they're not very big, they're fairly small. And I would have done it eagle side up. I am going to use this for something, but I would have thought about another one of these, but I don't think they would have gone over as well as the Mercury dimes. I think Mercury dimes did a little better in this particular gun. These would look good in something like a single action revolver, a Ruger, something like that. These would look great. And these are, as you can see, they're very thin. It would take almost nothing to do this. This you would want a smaller bit. You wouldn't want to use this bit, it's too big. But I think I paid like $10 for this at the hardware store. These grips, they're not factory grips. I wouldn't do it to a pair of factory grips. I paid something like a little more than $20 for them on eBay. They were not finished. I had to do a little bit of fitting to the screws to get them to fit right. And then I put 3-4 coats of True Oil on here. So I mean, between the grips, the bit, and the dimes, probably maybe $40 into them at the most, but they look really nice and they feel good, and these do not interfere at all with how you grip the gun. But this is just stuff you can do. You don't have to do it on a gun, you don't have to do it on a knife. There's all sorts of wooden things you can use, but this is just something I wanted to go over, that you can do this on a set of grips, and you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. You don't need, I use nothing more than a nice drill. It has a level on it, so it allowed me to steady up where you need to be. But I think you don't need that. If you take your time and you know what you're doing, you can align it, you can get out results just like this. You don't need to have a lot of money spent on fancy grips. You can make a nice set. You know, if you can go out and find a medallion online you like, or a couple small medallions, whatever, you know, you can do these. They're not hard. So just wanted to go over that, guys and girls, and have a good day. And until the next time.